Okay,
All right.
I'll just sit over here.
Yeah. So welcome, folks. I'm Jim.
And I'm Marge.
You probably know that by now. All 45 of our subscribers. Thank you very much. Please share this video, like the video, leave a comment. We love that. We do answer every comment. We told you that before. Share the heck out of the channel, man. We think we're covering a lot of fun stuff. Today, maybe not so much.
That's fun. Could be fun.
Not for the recipient.
Oh, God,
No, but for us, it'll be okay. So we wanted to talk to you. There's been some discussion from some of our folks about what we carry for personal protection. And I will tell you that I've been carrying a firearm for quite a while. And I carry it every single day. Not because I want to. I think it's a sad state of affairs that I have to. But we are living in a world that we did not pick. So with that being said, we want to segue to the next topic. Not every scenario that we encounter as civilians anyway, or even in law enforcement, maybe can lead you to using appropriately and legally deadly physical force. And the question is, what do you do, or what do we do if that case or that scenario arises? So this all came to be when we were deciding to go on our 3-week adventure, which you saw, Tennessee, New York, and North Carolina. And several states obviously in between, because this is not as the crow flies. And one of the concerns was for March. Under the bill that was passed immediately after 9/11, H.R. 218, I am legally able to carry my firearm across the country as long as I meet the requisites for that bill, which is qualifying once a year and having a satisfactory score. And then obviously carrying the appropriate credentials to have that firearm. So Marge, although she does have a Florida pistol license, does not have the ability to carry in certain states. So I'll let you speak to that. Well, not just north, but somewhat.
Well, mostly up north.
Yeah.
Well, the Florida carry conceal license reciprocates with a lot of 35, I believe, other states. So I can actually carry as far north as Pennsylvania, including Pennsylvania. A lot of the places that I would feel more comfortable carrying something to protect myself, it's not allowed. And the thing is, Jim and I are getting to a point where we might be looked at as easier targets. And oftentimes when I'm in New York, he's not with me. And again, I can't carry my firearm. So my first choice would be to run away, if I could. Run away, get away from the situation. I don't want to get involved in anything that's going to, where I would have to do that. But the chances are, the way the world is today, it's kind of scary. So there may be that incident where I can't run away, so it's either defend myself or allow somebody to take my life, which I really don't care to do. I'm not that old.
And we're not going to turn this into a political discussion. Straightforward, we're hesitant to say what is truth because we've been conditioned that way. Straightforward, it's states that are not red, right? So if you're a Democratic oriented state, they just have a different philosophy on self-protection, firearms laws, etc. That's their business. It has nothing to do with me, and you can certainly leave us a comment. Everyone's entitled to an opinion, and we're on board with that opinion, but we're not. That's not what today's discussion is. Yeah, that's not what our
discussion is.
We're not trying to
get any political argument going. We just want to say what we do, and if someone was interested, give them information on this.
Yeah. So we did some research. And obviously there are things that are legal across the country and things that are not. So again, not endorsing any product. Alfred's going to come in and give his opinion.
He's going to help us out here.
But this is just what we did, okay? There's no law degree behind anything we're going to talk about. But basically, it's just what worked for us.
You did? Okay, you're going to defer your butt right there, aren't you?
All right, so a slight interruption with Alfred. He actually also supports this product, Byrna, which we're going to show you in a minute. So we did some research. You got to pay attention to, like I said, local ordinances, local laws, case law, etc. You got to do some research, guys, because this impact your life not only in a fatal way, but it could also impact your life in a incarceration way. Yeah, so, you know, don't rely on anything we're telling you. My research is for Marge and I, and for no one else. Electronic control devices such as tasers, although they are permitted here in states that give reciprocity to a Florida or weapons license actually, may not be legal in the state that you're in, the country that you're in, or even the location that you're in. What we found to be 100% perfectly legal currently is what we're going to show you now. And this is a Byrna
B-Y-R-N-A.
Yeah, pepper launcher. So this is the case that you will get if you are to purchase this this pepper launcher. And I'm going to go into it a little bit in greater detail, but I want to just show you real quick. Very nice carrying case, hard case, well packed inside. Customer service has been fantastic. You're going to drop some coin. You're going to pay about $349 for this through their website. And there really, I didn't see any other location where you can purchase this other than through them.
You think of it, it's kind of like an amped up paintball.
Yeah, it's amped up.
And we can show you details with that.
Yep, so this is actually what the pepper ball launcher looks like. And I'm gonna caution you not to use the word gun, because it is not, okay? Laws through the ATF, through case law, through litigation have very specific definitions to them. So this is a pepper ball launcher. It actually will discharge a 68 caliber projectile, which I'm going to show you momentarily. Through this, there is an ambidextrous safety on this launcher. One of the things that I found when I did fire this in the backyard was it does have a very heavy trigger pull. Nothing inordinate, but just expect a good bit of draw for that. On the top of this launcher, you may not be able to see it, but there is a loaded chamber indicator. So when you load the magazine, which will hold 5 rounds of either pepper ball, inert, or busting balls ammo,
That's what
which
they're
are
called.
wrecking ball ammo out of Mercy Less Lethal. So we'll go over a little bit of that with you. There is a magazine release, and the magazine and the launcher are actually very well designed. So let me take you inside this case real quick. All right, I will hold it up.
Okay.
Thank you, Margaret, for your anticipated assistance in that. Just give me one moment. My balls are falling out all over the case here.
So while he's
Pepper
doing
balls.
that,
Pepper balls.
we chose to pick colors that are not looking like a gun. Yellow and orange. They do have black, brown, they even have, I believe, camo.
They have OD green, yeah.
But we thought
Yeah.
if, God forbid, we had to use this to prevent being shot by police, at least there would be that hesitant because it doesn't really look like a regular gun.
Yeah, guys, let me speak from experience, okay? I did a number of years. I retired from the City of Troy, New York Police Department. I worked part-time in the Village of Grand Island Police Department. I worked part-time in the Village of Boston Spa. I had the best opportunity in the world to actually be the Assistant Director for the Police Academy at Zone 5 in upstate New York. If the police tell you to drop something or get on your knees or prone out or do this or do that, that's what you want to do. You can prevent being shot by paying attention.
And not trying to
Principle.
insist that whatever you're holding, just do what they tell you.
Yeah,
And
absolutely.
and if, a lot of people, if they had done that, probably would not have been either injured or killed.
Right. Play stupid games, win stupid prizes. In the city of New
Listen to
York,
the
probably the
police.
largest police department in the world, the uniformed officer calls the shots. So with all of the plainclothes officers running around, detectives, et cetera, if a uniformed officer were to say to a plainclothesman or detective, get on the ground, do this or do that, that officer will do that. Because we know that the officer that's in the uniform is a police officer. So don't point anything at the police unless you expect to get it.
Get your ass shot.
Can't say that.
Okay.
But get it in return. All right, so let's go over the ammo that comes with it. There are 3 separate canisters that will come with this pepper ball launcher kit, okay? And I apologize for the lighting. So you are going to get 5 OC, polyresin capsicum / CS pepper balls. These are the live rounds that are green and red. You will get 5 kinetic rounds, which are just clear white. And then you will get 5 inert rounds, which are green and white. The inert round actually fires, like all 3 of them do, and it explodes and creates a cloud on impact, as well as the pepper ball. The kinetic round does not. Okay? So you need to decide what you're going to do when you carry this pepper ball launcher and how you want to load one or both of the 2 magazines that come with this launcher. You will also get 2 8-ounce CO2 cartridges. And these CO2 cartridges actually fit right underneath the bore. All right. On the end of this magazine, there is a small Allen key. You probably cannot see it. And that Allen key simply fits right into the opening here, and it allows you to twist open that cap, insert the CO2 cartridge, close it, and seal it. Now that CO2 cartridge will not become live until you squeeze the trigger. So currently in this launcher and in the orange one that was behind me are 2 live CO2 canisters, as well as 2 magazines, 1 for each launcher, with 5 rounds of pepper ball. So you have a couple of options if you were to have to deploy this launcher. One is, on safe, squeeze the trigger and that punctures the CO2 cartridge. Then sweep that safety to the fire position, and each subsequent squeeze of the trigger will deploy the rounds that are in the magazine, whether they be pepper ball, kinetic, or a combination thereof.
So how long do they last, the CO2 cartridges?
Great question. So the CO2 cartridges will only last for 2 magazines if they are being fired. So at the end of the 2 magazines, you have 2 options. Run away,
I would run away.
or deploy the pepper ball launcher as a hammer and go hands-on, or crazy hamster.
There's crazy hamster.
There's crazy hamster. But you guys gotta think about what you're doing with this launcher. So Lonnie, our good friend from Taylor's Travels, is going to be purchasing one of these very shortly. And him and I had a lengthy discussion this morning about some of the mindset, and you have to train the way you are going to play, okay? I carry this now in conjunction, wow, my firearm.
Flashbacks.
I know, flashbacks, right?
Years.
It is. And the reason I do that is because, like I said earlier, there's not every scenario that presents itself to being able to utilize deadly physical force. But this gives me another option. The magazines that Marge and I are loaded with are pepper ball only. We have opted not to use any of the kinetic rounds because they require you to be on target. What I want this launcher to do for me,
A lot of editing.
a lot of editing, yeah. What I want this launcher to do for me is be able to get me out of a scenario. This launcher is 100% accurate in regular environmental conditions up to 60 feet. There have been videos that have shown it up to 80 feet with minimal drop. However, if you are on the 10th round with 1 CO2 cartridge, you might get some drop, or not the actual feet per second that you got with the first round. So these are coming in anywhere between 300 and 400 feet per second, okay? Nothing against the kinetic rounds, but you just gotta make sure that they hit, and keeping in mind some physiological responses, people that are already amped up may become even more amped up. And if you follow any FBI studies at all on firearms or fatal shootings, you'll know that there have been countless people who have been shot and killed by law enforcement, yet didn't know enough to die, right? So in this case, I'm looking for that big
Kind of
cloud.
like a pit bull. How they get, the more you try
Well, all
to,
animals have that fight drive.
Right.
Yeah, you're right, and we'd love to hear from our canine handlers about how you train fight drive, right? You guys know what I'm saying. But what I'm looking for is that big cloud of pepper ball. And I will tell you now, regardless if you feel like you are resistant to OC spray or not, you are going to get some type of response that you may or may not be able to work through, but that split second will give me the time to get away or transition to a firearm if necessary. again, canine handlers, you guys are absolutely familiar with what I'm about to say. When you deploy your dog on an assailant, it is designed to give you that 3 seconds to draw your fire. Okay, and you guys know that. Sounds terrible, and we hope that they never sacrifice those puppies. But that's the reality of it. So that's what this is designed to do. We are always looking for questions. We're always looking to help you guys out. If any one of you have experienced this, where you've used this launcher in a self-defense scenario, I'd love to hear about it. Please comment on the YouTube channel, because I get a lot of comments on the Facebook page, but that doesn't really let the other folks see that. And let us know if you've encountered any negativity towards this, okay? You guys are aware of it. Marge mentioned it earlier, why we chose these colors. They are not capped like some of the toy pistols that you see. These are actually colored that way. But there are aftermarket manufacturers that are now coating pistols. You guys have probably heard of the Glock 19, and that is a Glock 19 auto pistol that has been reconfigured by a company to look like Legos. It is in fact a real gun. So the more we change things, you wonder why law enforcement has a job that's second to none. And guys and girls, we support you, and we appreciate everything you do every day for us. But boy, I'll tell you, point something that resembles a firearm or resembles a toy, really not the officer's fault, and we need to get back to understanding that, okay? So again, like, subscribe, share, comment. What else from your perspective as far as weight? Anything at all that you found when carrying it?
No, for me, short fat fingers, the weight, there's nothing to the weight. It's a little bulky, it's a little big, but I mean, it's fairly new, so, you know, hopefully in time they'll come out with something a little smaller. But again, if it's a matter of defending yourself and keeping someone away from you so that you don't have to shoot and kill them, I would much rather do that. You know, I don't, you know, you hear about all these police officers who've done that, what they have to go through. Even though it's justified, there's still a lot of hell that they have to go through in order to prove that, you know, they had to use that. So I would rather just go with this. And
yep, and she still does carry her firearm, but this is just another tool. You'll also notice possibly, if you can see the coloring, on the bottom of this magazine we have the orange butt plate, and that just indicates that this magazine is loaded with the pepper ball. So it comes with a couple different butt plates that you can swap out in case you're confused and you know, can't understand the actual round that's looking at you. But very well made, good kit, good customer service. They're very responsive. They ship very quickly. So guys, you know, if you're looking for that alternative to keep you or your family safe, and it is Byrna HD, the HD stands for home defense, but it is utilized nationally as an everyday carry. A lot of police departments have actually transitioned to this as part of their duty belt as well. So we'd love to hear about it. We're excited about it. We're happy about it. It fired very well in the backyard. And I did recover all those kinetic rounds.